with our slowest deck, which is blue-white Loki. Loki, God of Mischief, 2 mana, 2/1 says whenever a permanent or a player becomes a target of an ability you control, draw a card. In this deck, we could trigger it off a Field of Ruin, Mishra's Bauble, Solitude, Relic of Progenitus, Teferi Time Raveler. And it's really nice that Relic of Progenitus is a recursive way to trigger this. It's maybe possible that we want to be playing. I think I'm actually going to switch the 4th Relic to the fourth Teferi. There's been a lot of Reanimator lately. I think I'm just actually okay to do that. I want 4 of each in the 75. Let's just make that swap real quick. It's really nice that we want to be playing 4 fields for Loki, which makes Wan Shi Tong a good tool in the deck. And I just mostly think that this card has potential to be a really good source of card advantage, especially when it triggers off of a lot of 0 mana stuff, like the Relic of Legends, or Relic of Progenitus is a 0 mana tapper, Mishra's Bauble is a 0 mana tapper, Solitude is a 0 mana edict. And so a lot of times you're gonna be able to play it, draw a card immediately, and then if they don't kill it, it's gonna take over the game. Thoughts on Portable Hole. Portable Hole is interesting. I think it's like it's pretty fragile, and I'm not usually a big fan of it. However, I don't hate the thought of playing it over Ending. I think I'm gonna stick with Ending for now. I think Devastating. Cannot get 3 drops either, which is something. And you have to go through the DFW airport. You know what? I think the DFW airport is the best airport. I think maybe you have to live here for a little while before it makes sense, but maybe it's just like the one I know. But to me, it makes a lot of sense. All right, well, my opponent is taking 30 minutes to show up here. This is very classic. I'm excited to play. My opponent's not here. Hot take. Yeah, I usually have to bite my tongue as my friends complain about the DFW airport, but I think the DFW airport rules. Zabas of the 3 years, thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. How do you get the feel of your Mavs getting Morez Johnson? I'm definitely not like so enfranchised that I know all the college players. I like that our new president, Masai, I think is how you say his name. I like that he's like not just taking Brandon Berries because that's like the safe thing to do. That's like what everyone expects him to do. I like that he's trying to make moves. I like that he's trying to get his guy. I watched some highlight clips of Morez Johnson last night. He looked pretty good, and I'm excited for him. I haven't looked at any. We also got a Spanish guy, and I haven't looked at any of his highlights yet. But people say he's good. Everybody Mox has 5 copies of Relic. Oh yeah, I know why. I'll swatch it because I had 3 Teferi's main or 4 Teferi's main, 3 relics. I decided I wanted to switch that. I don't think I did the sideboard switch. Yeah, so yeah, that sideboard relic should be a Teferi Time Raveler. Been liking Teferi a lot lately, despite it. Remember when Teferi Time Raveler was like the card to complain about? Okay, so my opponent's a Faithless Looting deck, and we have a Relic of Progenitus in our hand, and we drew Loki. This is my favorite shit ever. When we just have it in the first hand. We just have it in the very first hand. But this hand is going to get to draw 2 cards with Loki on the first turn. We're going to get to go play Loki, crack Mishra's Bauble, draw a card, and then on their turn, tap Relic, draw another card off the Loki. Yeah, the NBA draft was last night. He still is pretty dumb. I mean, I agree Teferi's a dumb card. Though there's just levels to this, and he's just like he's so sweet and innocent compared to a lot of the other stuff that exists. I do think I want to give myself max chances for a Solitude, so I'm going to crack the Bauble on my turn instead of tapping Relic on my turn. Relic has to be better than Shuko in this deck. Yeah, I saw a list 5-0'd with Shuko. Relic seems like so strictly better than Shuko, especially in this deck where we have no hate for our graveyard. But Relic is also Relic can trigger Loki on your opponent's turn. So Relic will a lot of times let you draw 2 cards on a card cycle instead of 1, and it cycles if you have multiples. I don't know why people are trying to play Shuko over Relic. I think maybe there perhaps a Reddit comment that said Shuko Naru's back. Perhaps that was the case, but Relic seems a lot better to me. I was even worried that Loki was bugged on Magic Online. That does not seem to be the case at the time of making this comment. Strident with the Twitch Prime. Thank you so much. They replicate the ball. That's Consign. This is totally fine. Edgar 5-0'd, he misread the card. Classic Edgar. But that's kind of what I figured. Yeah, did he maybe think it was templated like did he maybe think it was templated like Naughty where every creature got that ability? I think I missed some subscribers. So I got Stridon. Got Stridon with a 31, and then Fleegler as an East Coaster moving to the West Coast for grad school. I'm gonna miss a lot more streams. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I hope you'll catch some of them, and YouTube's of course there for the people who can't hang. Dodo with the 4 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Haven't tried to do anything with Namor. So I do want Namor was a card that I forgot to add to the PowerPoint. I do want to play Namor. Let me go add a reminder to myself to build a Namor deck. I'm gonna play as many decks as we can today. I am not gonna get stuck. I'm not. Well, we'll see. But I'm gonna do my very best not to play two two decks today. Maybe is it? It's. I think it's got to be best to just Prismatic Ending the Frog and hold up the Relic Pop. Like, yeah, we could just like never lose with the Relic Pop hold up, and so while we are missing out on a card draw, Loki has already drawn us 3 cards. I will just hold up the sack. And it attacks for 2. That deck tries to deck itself, so when you play the new Loki, Shuko is better to trigger multiple Lokis in one turn. I guess if you're legend ruling Loki, you get to draw 1 extra card. That certainly doesn't seem better to me than Relic just triggering on your opponent's turn. Oh, their Goryo's not persist. Ooh, Vivi combo with Loki? That seems interesting. I do think Loki's very good. This is our first draft. I think Loki is the best card from the set. I wanted to save it for today because it's a bit of a slower deck. So are they going to force the Relic Pop here? They are. It's fine. So why don't we bounce? Nice Solitude. Loki has drawn us 4 cards so far. Could we play Ketchamos instead of Loki? Harder to remove and triggers more than once per turn. So Loki triggers twice on a turn cycle. Loki is 2 mana instead of 3 mana. That's awesome. Loki is blue instead of Orzhov, which is also great because card advantage plays so good. It plays better with blue cards, right? Loki is also does not lose you life, which is a really big deal in your card advantage engine. So I think, of course, you could play Loki and Ketchamos together. Like I don't think anybody has like a problem with that. But I do think that it is not by any means. I think it's not by any means like that Ketchamos even seems better at all. I don't know, like Loki being 2 mana this game was super duper relevant. I think I make just Verdict here. So I've drawn 6 cards off to Loki now. 2 the first turn cycle, 1 the second. That's turn 3. Then 2. This is my 6th card I'm drawing. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and cash in with the Verdict, and I just have another one in my hand. What about Kid Loki in Professor Combo? I think Kid Loki's interesting. It's not one that I had in my video, but I think it's probably a little bit better than I would have given it credit for. Yeah, I did rebuild Moonmist. In fact, I may even get... This is not really anything, but I think I just might get a cards drawn with Loki counter up here for fun. Have a... Oh, right. Sorry, I had a different... And the Jeskai deck, I thought we had Rest in Peace. But with the 4 main deck relics, we're not playing Rest in Peace. Cards drawn with Loki. And that was game 1. A very, very good first start for Loki. Okay. Let's bring in the Celestial Purges. Do I want extra one? Do I want the fourth Teferi? Fourth Teferi is pretty good. I think the Force of Negations oftentimes end up being especially bad against Gorios because they're instant speed, and we have the 4 main deck relics, and we have the snares. Verdict seems like the first one could be good. I'm bringing in the Purges, and I think I'll probably want to lead a little bit more on the spot removal. I think I am interested in the first Dispute. Probably don't want another one. I think 3 Teferi is a good number. Don't really want to draw multiples in the opening hand. Kind of maybe I'm interested in playing only one. I think I'm interested in playing only one. So maybe I play the first Force at the first Verdict. Yeah, that's true. We could get a Loki's cast count too. Good call. Is there a way to do a Loki build with Blue Black Frog? So one of the main reasons I've gone for Blue White first is that Loki triggers off Solitude, and it's very nice to trigger off Solitude, and also triggers off Teferi. In Blue Black, it doesn't seem like you really get like Bowmaster, I guess. Okay, then the sand rolls. Have I thought about combining with Skimmer because they might have overlapping payoff? I haven't thought about Skimmer. I think it's interesting. I did like Skimmer. Loki seems to like a lot better than Skimmer though, but they do trigger off of also like Emperor of Bones. Oh no. So Emperor of Bones doesn't target. It targets graveyard, not the player. It's really just relic, right? Clean triggers. No clean. So this is players or permanents, not cards in graveyards. Okay, so my opponent may have Thought Scour. A very good chance that they have Consign. I think it's tough not to play the Relic here. I think I'm just going to. Yeah. That's okay. It's hard to imagine I don't cast Counterspell or Purge this turn. I think I'll just play the Island. Yeah, Loki's also only abilities, not spells. So it doesn't work for 2 reasons, I guess. Blue-red end of turn to Prismari Charm. Interesting. I think I may actually counter this. I think I like it. My opponent's kind of low on resources. They only have 3 cards. They have nothing in the graveyard. I want to tap out for Teferi next turn. I have an answer for Frog in my hand. Seems fine. They played Emperor. So if I bounce the Emperor with Teferi and then they surveil something into the yard, then we could get got. I think I like playing this since I got 2/2 drops in my hand here. And also like if they have like another Consign in their hand, then that's just like maybe blanked for the rest of the game. Do discard. So Loki only triggers on abilities. So like Teferi minus, Field of Ruin, Solitude ETB, Mishra's Bauble, Relic of Progenitus, Orcish Bowmasters are like examples of things that trigger Loki. Loki does not trigger off of Prismatic Ending, or discard spells. I guess we could Charlos Agent into Loki. Yeah. I know it's early, but what's been the best card for Marvel? Avengers Disassembled has been good. I mean, we played 1 game with Loki, and it's already changed my life. But a little early to call it the best. Yeah, binding triggers Loki. Equip triggers, yes, they do also trigger Loki. So I think I'm interested in going plus Teferi, using Prismatic Ending on the Emperor, holding up the Purge, and then this next turn I can go Loki plus Field of Ruin, so I can make sure I can get a card off of it. I'm not playing my patented Logic Knot today, so I don't need to worry about them exiling anything here. Bad with the field. Yeah, Loki very good with Umazawa's Jitte. You know what? It's not bad with Jitte. Yeah, I saw the 5 list using Shuko also, and I'm like, did I misread Loki? And no, it seems like Edgar is the one who misread Loki. I think I'll hold up the. Well, I guess no. If I field main phase and I can Solitude on their turn, I can draw a card. I can also draw a Bauble or a Relic to get another card off Loki. So Loki cast count is 2, And cards drawn is 7. We did not draw a Relic or a Bauble. Yeah, I love that. Gallagher's really amazing player. Nice guy, too. I'm sorry, 7. Yes, our first Loki, we played it on turn 2. We drew 2 cards with it that turn cycle on my turn and my opponent's turn. Then it survived for 2 more turns. And, or 3 more turns, and we drew a total of 6 cards. Yeah, 2 more turns, we drew 6 total cards off of it, then just verdicted it away. So they thought seized themselves. So thankfully we have this Solitude here. I guess I'll let them go to combat. And probably do this. Loki card draw count is now 8. I'm gonna count it. We're gonna draw a card with it there. It's a spell. I guess. Opponent's on a bolt of 6. Yeah, if it does protect Loki, that is true. Yeah, I need another line of text. Loki does not trigger on spells. Or maybe I could have you, my dear sweet chatters, help me. So it looks like we're in a control mirror of some kind. I have a weird hand with no white mana and no white cards. Yes, I do think you can play Esper and you can play Katramos, or you could play Sultai and you could play Skimmer. But this is where I wanted to start. And one thing about Loki is Loki triggers off of Field of Ruin. Field of Ruin is currently a good card. Field of Ruin is currently a good card, and so Field of Ruin is also a card that's very good with Wan. And so like the fact that it triggers off both I think is really interesting, and that was a big part of the reason why I wanted to stay 2 colors was to be a Field of Ruin deck with Loki. Is Bowmasters not prominent anymore? No, Bowmasters has not been prominent for about 2 years. It got really hindered with the banning of the ring. I guess, whenever the ring got banned, that's really when it stopped being prominent. My opponent missed their land drop. I'm just gonna pass here. If they cast a consult, I don't know, maybe I'll let that go. If they tap up for 1, I think that's okay. I would just counterspell it and then untap with my own Teferi. It's worse, but I mean, I guess I could let this happen. I think I'm just gonna use the Force, so I could just go Teferi with Counterspell up, which is obviously just so good here. Now, this may have just ended up being like a good bit worse than letting my opponent go to discard here. I'll say I feel like we got punished. It's still the best block true jump though. I think Emperor Bones like clearly is. Maybe Overlord if you want to say Overlord, but like Emperor does see a lot of play. Bowmasters doesn't see a lot of play. I'm playing a mono black deck. Oh, they pitched their own Teferi. I'm playing a mono black deck, and I don't know that I'm playing. I don't have any Bowmasters in it. I do have Emperor. Yeah, Galvanic could be scary. Why are you playing a Stevenson blue white deck? Discard Prismatic Ending, and I think I'm actually just gonna cash it for a card now. I draw a Loki, which I probably don't want to play without a way to trigger it. Can wait. The Graveyard of Wrath. Okay, found a way to trigger Loki. So if I Field of Ruin, I am shuffling away. I'm shuffling away one of their cards, but also cutting them off red. Red is really nice. And if I draw Relic or Bauble, I can draw another card, so I think this is fine. Did I hear that the challenge today is at 96? No, I don't know why they would do that. They like barely hit those numbers. Congrats, Fiersight, to become a mod. I spoke with the 54 months of having too much power now, Neil. I'm already sitting down. I gotta update the Loki's cast to 3. Then unfortunately they have a discharge and a basic mountain for it. I actually think they would play a basic mountain. I'm behind. So I guess if they kill my Loki, I could Solitude it in response and draw a card, maybe. Maybe they'll play a Wan end of turn, I could Solitude that. Okay. This will be a little bit of a coward here. It would have to be the third Wan, which is kind of a lot. Always nice when you get to snare, consult. Now my hand is very bad. Still have all of my relics and baubles in the deck, although they make it countered if I draw them. It is a 0 mana draw too, so assuming they can't kill this. So yeah, they counter it. And you know what? That's kind of a win. I'm not going to add it to the record tracker here, but it feels like a win. So they field my Steaments, which means if they play a Teferi, I can no longer ending it. Again, Prismatic Loki only triggers off abilities. It does not trigger off spells. They find a verdict. So I think I'm going to just play the field but wait to draw Wan or Loki. They've got 5 cards in their hand. Probably counter spells and removal. So happy to draw this. Maybe they'll tap out for like a consult. I think this game would have gone way better if I just let them go to discard. Let me take a peek at my top card. Okay, definitely going to draw that. But I have the mana advantage, and they may be discarding soon. Oh, that's also probably their last basic. No, maybe they have a third island. Let's wait. So I draw a copy of Loki. Again, I think I just want to be waiting. At the moment, like they're gonna have to make the first move. Pretty high chance they have a Solitude in their hand too that they may just like end up running out. In which games you set in third wand, and like the grindy matchups in Tron, and like it's against like grindy matchups in combo and big mana. I think I like to have the third copy. Not like a mandatory thing though. Let me double check that I have the 6 basic. When you build so many decks at once, it's yeah, okay. Just gotta double check sometimes. So I do get them to run out the Solitude. Maybe I could Wan X equals 1 here. I feel like it's interesting with the Field of Ruin. And then if they counterspell this, I could just play the other one. Nice. Probably not the right play there. So I get punished for not spending the extra energy or mana on Wan because I wanted to be able to have Snare up for Consult, but maybe playing around Discharge was better, especially because I didn't already have the Snare. Maybe a good turn just to Verdict. I think especially with this draw, let me just go play Relic, play Loki, and then try to maybe draw 2 cards off of it, and then or if they have another Solitude, just let them Solitude, then I can Verdict, and I can clean up 2 Solitudes with my Verdict. I only have the 1 in the deck. I'm gonna get the Loki cast counter up to 4. Do we have a Manamo in the mana base? No, but Manamo is definitely pretty interesting. It seems like it's likely worth playing. Even though basics are really good. Maybe over the Otawara. Otawara also triggers it. Now, actually closing this game could be kind of an issue. Have to be mindful of that. So I think I am just going to let this resolve because I do already have another Loki in my hand. Its prismatic endings feel very dead. Yeah, I saw the mono blue Loki deck. It just is bad. Like the Shukos are like seem way worse than Relic. Apparently Edgar said he just misread how the card works. But it does have a 6 basic like me. Okay, that's fine. We'll just verdict this next turn. Is this card stronger than Nadu, the strongest card of all time? Yes, it is, baby! Buy hype, 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 hype! Obviously, it's stronger than Nadu, dude. You think I'd play a card weaker than Nadu on stream? Dude, Loki's literally 2 mana. Nadu's 3. Just gonna preemptively get this one here. And do I pop the relic to get rid of the Timeless Dragon? Oh, I guess I get punished for playing my land, I guess. I think I am going to... I think the raw cards matter like a little bit less. I have Field of Ruin also for next turn. Alright, gonna use my Counterspell. They've got 1 card left in their hand. And they concede the game. Okay. Pretty good. I think, again, the game would have been a lot easier if I just, like, passed instead of tapped out for the... Or crack the fetch to trigger, to bait the wand. Okay, so I'm going to bring in the disputes. I'm going to bring in the extra one. I think I'm going to cut my endings and my verdict. Although, like, I'm like pretty weak to resolve Teferi this way, so maybe I should play the first Prismatic Ending. I think I should play the first. Although they have fields to just field me off of Steam Vents. They're just going to do that. I also have 3 disputes, 3 fours. I have 4 of my own Teferis. I should play 1. I should play 1. Let's go down to Bauble. It's fine. Could also be 61. I don't think that'd be that big a deal. I do think I want all 4 Solitudes. I'm definitely gonna keep this. My opponent's chosen. Am I an influencer? My opponent has chosen not to play first. I don't know. Maybe they're just also enlightened, but more and more I'm seeing people choose to be on the draw in modern control mirrors, and I think this is absolutely a time to be on the draw. Yeah, I saw them on a blue Loki listed trophy. The Shukos are nonsense, unfortunately. Or fortunately. Oh, I played them the other day, and they did that too. Okay. I need to be better about remembering usernames. So they graveyard a Solitude, so presumably they have like a Discharge or another Solitude or something. Maybe. Oh, they have Prismatic Ending? Hear me out. Volatile Stormdrake with Loki. I mean, that card is pretty bad. It is kind of good with Teferi. Wait, what? Opponent, you could have cast this before giving me the extra card. What the heck? Okay, I'm gonna play Loki with my relic out there. Do you have any ideas for Loki with Free Strider? I'm not the biggest Free Strider believer at post image 3, but I mean they trigger off a lot of the same stuff, and I do like Free Strider. Like I really enjoyed the time I had with the card, so just updating my Loki counter. Loki's cast 6, cards drawn 14. Just a 2 for 1 there. So they're representing their own copy of Wan. I think I'm just gonna. I'm not gonna do anything. Is it Loki land destruction viable? Loki does. Do you think yes or no? Don't look. Don't look at the Loki in my hand. I'm covering it. Does Loki trigger off of spells or abilities or both? No cheating. I think I'm gonna pass. Why is that in their deck? Do you think I have Ephemerate? Okay, I think I'm just down to trade this for a counterspell so I can try to tap out for Loki. So maybe I should tap out for Teferi first. Okay. It's kind of nice if they have a Wan. Just resolves, huh? So Discharge can kill Teferi anyways. Maybe I could... Okay, I think I'm just going to cash in for a card and pass. I think that's fine. Could save the minus to draw an extra card off Loki next turn. I don't think I need to do that. I'm surprised they don't even have I'm surprised they don't even have a wand to like attack there. Oh, and now they're just giving me double counterspell up. That's awesome. So they probably have an ending or a discharge, right? If they didn't do anything else. Okay, or maybe this makes some sense. Seems worth to counterspell with them having only one card in their hand. Does Ephemerate work with Loki? I don't know. Is that a spell or is that an ability? Dang, I'm gonna cast. I guess I didn't cast it. It's fine. It'll mess up my ratio anyways. Okay. I think I'm gonna mulligan. If I had a white source, I'd probably keep that one. Gonna keep this, put back the second relic. So playing against Brood Scale. Yeah, Snare definitely good at the matchup. I'm gonna wait on the Field of Ruin because I think there's a chance they sandbagged an Eldrazi Temple with the Fleshraker in their hand. What are your thoughts on Watergrave or Steam Vincent Blue White List for ending? It's like the most boring convo that blue white players love to have. I get it, y'all are. This is all you know is to talk about this. Um, I like Steam Vince because when you play against Yawgmoth, sometimes they have Urborg or Yavimaya, although I don't even think they play those cards anymore. But if they do have those, then you can Prismatic Ending X equals 4. And that's like, we also have High Noon in the sideboard, so that's also something. They may not have another colorless source. They probably do. Do you think Brood Scale's good? I'd say Brood Scale's good, yeah. I want a Loki. They may not have another basic. They probably do. But I may get to cut them off colorless. Since they haven't got waste yet. You also stop them from casting K command. This is a pretty annoying card here. It makes the Fleshraker pretty big. I think I'm actually gonna have to counterspell it. Yikes. At least I can block them. Yikes. Yeah, I thought chat told me Snare was really good against them. Wait, they're not equipping. They have a third Glaring Fleshraker. I'm dead to any Cola spell that they can cast. Did you guys remember for Airbend Valkyrie Modern? No. I'm so off Valkyrie. It's crazy. My opinion of that card like kind of couldn't be lower. I like, and it's I'm not like you're still spending 7 mana on it. If you go Valky, Airbend it, 2 more mana, it's still 7 mana. Obviously, you could do it faster, but okay, dude, Fleshraker is so broken. It's so broken. Like it's just like you could only play 3 copies. Is of course the thing. All right, so I think I'm cutting my forces. The first copy of forces sometimes okay. The wands don't seem great, but I do like I can play them at instant speed. I think I like 2 or 3 Teferis. I actually do like the relics to kind of contain the Imracools. I think I want a second verdict also. So maybe I am going to go down a 1. Maybe just play 2 Teferis. That seems okay. Yeah, that seems okay. Having the second one in my hand was kind of bad. Am I planning on trying Loki in the Aang Flicker deck? Could it be good with Mayhem Devil? So this is a 4-color Mayhem Devil Aang Loki deck. Seems like a lot. I did see the mono blue deck 5-0 with Loki. I would recommend playing Relic over Shuko, even with the Emery. Relic Emery is pretty fine, honestly. Okay, we could draw 2 cards off this Loki on turn 2. That's good. Go down a Snare. I mean, they're a Brood Scale Rumble deck, and like countering Brood Scale is really, really important. They can counter Ballista sometimes. I think. Oh, I will consign a blade this turn. Don't really like the speed of the play. I don't know. They're probably not ghosting. Moon missed a bus so far. Yeah, I think our first build, like, I think we had a problem that we were playing too many of the low quality Moon Mist targets. Like just She-Hulk and T'Challa seem pretty bad, but Bruce Banner and Aang seem kind of good, and it didn't seem like we needed more. And then also Aang can also transform Bruce Banner, so you don't have to play the full 4 Moon Mist, which is nice. So I did rebuild it. I want to play it. I don't know if we're gonna play it today. I liked both Shang-Chi and Squirrel Girl. I would continue to play them both in the deck. We didn't play a lot of matches with it yesterday, but we need to play some more. But I think it had good. I had a good first impression. So there's a K command over there, and then, well, I guess we'll just wait. But I'm gonna go ahead and add this to 16. So we're gonna lose a Loki, but we just have another one. Wait, are we actually? Is our 2-mana creature actually trading favorably with K command right now? Why do it in upkeep when you can do it on their end step? Yeah, exactly. That's why I stopped. So they're making spawns. They have another blade. Making spawns kind of scary. Kind of seems like they've got Emrakul maybe. I'm just gonna hold up mana. Yeah, Loki finally a card better than K command. Could have been okay also to field main phase. Like I really want the 3rd source. Is Roots still do nothing or worth retrying with Green Sun Shang-Chi? I'm still really not a fan of Roots in the Wrath of Skies format. It's like it is one of the worst cards in the format against Wrath of Skies. So I think I got to keep that. My opponent obviously has a K command. Let's just play around it. Up the draw count. No, I'm pretty sure I drew 2 cards up the Loki. I And I believe I was at 14. I went to 16. Yeah, if we field there, then they get to resolve big K command. So my opponent is really, really in on resolving this K command. Seems like an okay spot to tap out for Loki. I like that we have a Solitude up now. Okay, it's fine. Still 2 for 1. So we're up to 8-17. They finally find some green mana. It's very interesting that they didn't have another land, but they chose to make spawns instead. I almost always scry draw in those situations. So they grab a Glaring Fleshraker. I think I want to Solitude the Fleshraker. I could also Verdict. But yeah, if I draw a land, maybe I'll just Verdict. Yeah, why don't we Surveil? If I see Loki on top, maybe I won't crack the Relic. Oh no, the problem with Field is Field actually doesn't let me Verdict hold up Consign. I think it's still a good turn to Verdict. And if they want to K command X equals 3, it's just not that bad. Now, one problem is I don't have Solitude up if they just have like full combo here. Yeah, this is not the end of the world. I don't think it's getting banned. They have to ban so many shenanigans to get down to Wrath. I don't know. I think Wrath is awfully designed. I think it does way too much. I think it restricts a lot of stuff. I think it's really, really problematic. Boros plays it. Not the end of the world, of course. It's a bit nebulous that it's problematic. I don't know. I feel like it's, in my opinion, it's one of the most clear problematic cards, but I agree. You could argue against that. Wait, they have another K command? That's the third one? My opponent has played, I think, honestly, maybe I should keep the Hand Hider up. I feel like my opponent's playing pretty slow. They're playing around my hand really well. I think just in case it might make some sense to put it up here. Totally believe they are capable of playing this well, of course. It being problematic is inherently obvious. I don't know how to engage with this. I've been playing Wrath of Skies for 2 years. I think Wrath is one of the worst cards for like format diversity and brewing and and play patterns. I agree. If you listen, if you don't hate it, you don't hate it. That's fine. I want you to know I understand Wrath is awful. Yeah, sure. For the layman, it's obvious. Okay. I agree. I think it's not one that people usually think of when they think of problematic modern cards. A similar argument to why Fury's banned. Yeah, and honestly, I think Wrath of Skies is more restrictive than Fury was. Just because like against Fury, you could like side into like non-creature permanents that are grindy and stuff, but you just cannot do that. I guess I may lose to Brood Scale now. I guess I do have a play. Yeah, I think I have to take the play. The play is to let the Mycospawn trigger resolve. Wrath and Consign are load bearing. I don't know that I necessarily agree. Like I think Affinity is still very containable without Wrath, but like if that's what you mean. But I'll say that it's also just really bad design if you just print cards that can only be contained by like 2 really overpowered answers. It's just like that's also not good. Wait, can they cast Emrakul? They have 5 mana, 6 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 5. Is this a second Myco spawn? It is a second Myco spawn. With kicker. Okay. I guess I'll just say my play did work out. My play was to let the Myco spawn. I'd probably it's safe to show the hand the rest of this game. Oh, maybe not. Although my relic does my I have Solitude and Relic for Emrakul, but I needed to draw a white card off the Myco spawn trigger, and I did draw it. So I need to pop the Relic for Emrakul. I really need to, and I need to draw a white card. Although, I guess I could just Solitude the Brute Scale. Still plenty of non-creatures. I think I might as well just hold up the Shockland here. If they're so low buried, maybe it's better to ban the loads as well. Yeah, I kind of agree. Like, what I think about the modern format would look better without Myco Spawn, K Command Consign. So if they so they play a Sire, which I cannot counter. I can Solitude. I could Solitude and I could Consign the Ward. What is the reason against ending on Blade? Well, they have a Cavern of Souls in play, right? So with Cavern of Souls in play, the okay, so I'm gonna go evoke Salt with Cavern of Souls in play. The Brood Scale is uncounterable, so if I get rid of the Blade, then if I get rid of the Blade, then that's not such a problem. So I'm gonna triple replicate Consign, or double replicate to get 3 copies. So the first copy is going to target the Ward. The second copy is going to target the Evoke. The third copy is going to target the Mind Stone. I don't think I've ever seen Mind Stone in Brood Scale before. With that Cavern of Souls out there, I am in to counter a Soulguide Lantern. They only have 1 K command left in the deck, too. Famous last words. Never seen Sire. Yeah, I don't think I've seen Sire. I have seen Myco Spawn before. I think Sire is a good tool. All right, I've drawn 6 Spell Snares over the course of these 2 games. I finally have had a target against Brood Scale. I deck that famously Brood. I guess it's worse against this version. I think I still going to keep in 4 like a fool. I'm glad to have the Field of Ruins for the Caverns. I have 2 Verdicts for the Sires plus the Consigns. Is probably fine. I think maybe I want to play a second one. Consider, yeah, their build is a bit bigger than I'm used to. Maybe go down to Bauble. I like the relics containing the Emrakuls a lot. Yeah, red's just for Pending and I guess also High Noon. Snare's gonna look bad in the cavern. They have 1 cavern and we have fields for it. And they have Mind Stone and they have Rumble. Like there's like 9 targets. It's a pretty good amount. Sorry, I meant to hand hider up this game though, just in case. High Noon might be better than 2 snares. High Noon's really bad against like the big Eldrazi stuff. They're totally fine just playing 1 spell a turn. Force of Snare. Snare is good against them. I'm maintaining my belief that Snare is good against them. So they can K-Command X equals 2 here. Instead, they Beseiju me. So not much point in getting a Surveil land, because I'm just going to search for a basic... So maybe they have like a Cavern or another Saga in their hand. Maybe it's like a load-bearing Eldrazi Temple. They play a Forest. Then they play a Vexing Bauble. They only have 2 cards in their hand after this. Yeah, I think Kaidun is a pretty silly card to board in. Just how deck feels. Feels great so far. Loki has been like unbelievable. I have a tracker for the amount of cards Loki's drawn, but I've just pulled it down because I feel like my opponent has played around my hand well enough. I'm just gonna hold up the hand hider just in case. Not accusing them of anything, of course. Just think it's a fine time just to be safe. This is we're in game 3 and we're 2-0 in the league. They grab a Sowing Mycospawn. Then they play an Eldrazi Temple. Almost didn't. This target this one. Yeah, I'd be interested in playing Loki Ketchamos. One of the main reasons why I'm starting with 2 colors instead of 3 is because Loki triggers off Field of Ruin and Ketchamos doesn't, and I think Field of Ruin is currently pretty good. So like I'm interested in playing a 2-color build so I can take advantage of that. And then also obviously Field triggers Wan, which is pretty nice. Yeah, I know a lot of people have brought up Loki Free Strider, which is something I'm interested in, of course. Of course I love Free Strider. But it definitely has a K command. Yeah, I think I'm interested in playing Manamo over Otawara. I don't think I'd play Deserted Temple. Okay, I need to add the Loki cast count. Not Emrakul, at least. I think it was the first time we played Loki and we didn't get a card off of it. They got 3 cards. I got 3 cards. Interesting they even boarded in the Allah's Dust, huh? They have another K command for my upkeep. Two more Loki cast counts. They do have 2 spells in their hand. They've been missing land drops. I think I'm going to lose to the 3rd K command. Maybe somebody was right about Force of Negation, huh? At this point. There's a chance something Dimir is pretty good with Loki. Yeah, you could play Dimir. I agree. I think I am just going to cash in for a card. They may have another Allah's Dust. Then there's a Cavern of Souls. I wonder if they're holding the Emrakul for a while and they were waiting for Cavern. So I don't know if it makes sense against the Relic deck. I could draw Solitude or I could draw Verdict maybe, but okay, I did draw Verdict. So they can my opponent can go they do have a play here. It's not super visible. They messed up. So they could have gone Prismatic Ending X equals 2 and then double Spell Snare the Prismatic Ending. Not the biggest deal ever. Yeah, just make the mana value 2. Still winnable. Three cards in their hand. Another Emrakul, which I cannot counter. Weird they didn't cast that last turn. I guess they just drew it. So are they going to minus the Teferi for... I guess they just cast the Teferi for no cards. Or for no bounce, but a card. They bounced the Emrakul. Interesting. And they drew 1. So they're probably just going to X equals 1 the 1, right? Oh, then they can snare it. Damn it. Damn it. They can snare, counterspell snare. So don't think the game's... Also, like, I really needed to draw this 1 later to win. Counter Emrakul so they can't counter any spell you draw. Would have been the same here, I guess. When you have Verdict being uncounterable was almost relevant. I mean, it was definitely a little relevant. This was brutal. Yeah. So, I mean, if we draw Solitude or Teferi next turn, I guess maybe even 2 turns. I'm going to cast it. Still do have a bunch of Solitudes left. I have 3 left. They have like 3 spells in their hand though, so I don't exactly know what those could be. Maybe All Is Dust was a card I could have played around. They play a land, they pass. I draw another land. Okay. Well, it was a good match. Loki's still looking good. For round 4. Gonna mulligan this Field of Ruin 1-lander. Definitely gonna keep this. Hey, this card's pretty good with Mishra's Bauble. What the heck? Probably put back the Fountain. Do you think that Loki does for Blink Felly Wisp is relevant? Yeah, I do. I think so. Like, you could be like a Relic Catchermost build, right? Relic also triggers off Loki, triggers off Felia, triggers off Wisp, triggers off Solitude. I feel like I'm forgetting one. Could trigger off White Orchid Phantom if you've had some of those in the 75. Teferi Time Raveler you can still play. So I do think you can play the Esper Blink deck for sure. What cards do you think was staples for Marvel? I actually did a long YouTube video, which you can watch after the stream. You can't leave. Where I talk about all my initial thoughts, right? And I'm still forming my thoughts. I will say I think this card, Loki, is the best card from the set. But I think there's lots of stuff. Some stuff could surprise us. The cards we're playing do look pretty fun. So my goal is to surveil into a white card so this Loki can maybe draw a card on their turn with Solitude. They discard Atraxa and Ulabog. So hopefully we can find a relic. Well, I don't want that. Okay, I'm gonna hold up Spell Snare. You can Goryo's these, and the mana value of Goryo's is 2. So I'm gonna try to snare that. This matchup should be pretty good with 4 main deck Relic. We did play it earlier already. Modern should have been cut. Bauble should have been cut from Modern years ago. You know, I remember when Lurrus was banned. I was kind of in favor of ban Mishra's Bauble and kind of see what Lurrus would have been like without Bauble. Lurrus still like super egregious card, and I already took the Loki cast count for this Loki. Super egregious, one of the worst designs ever. Blah 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 blah. But would have been, you know, less blah 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 without Bauble. And I did say at the time, Bauble is only ever going to get better. I do think that like one thing to like about Mishra's Bauble is it's not a card that works with that much MH3 stuff. Like it's not like the MH3 cards I think that are kind of some of the worst stuff for modern. It's not really good with like, K Command, Microspawn, Guide Pride, and Johnny. Okay. So only one card. I guess I should crack this Bauble. With Force it's probably fine not to. Or maybe that's probably an extra reason to. Only a 2-mana 2-for-1. How sad. Should they design new dredge cards? As a game designer, I'm something of a game designer myself. With dredge cards, it's like it's kind of easy. Like you just cannot say anything that dredges 5 or 6 and probably 4. But anything that's dredging 1 to 3 is kind of like could be an interesting design. Hmm. Let's play Relic of Progenitus this turn. Oh man, I will say like main deck Relic is genuinely good right now. I don't know if it's going to continue to be this good, but uh, it's pretty good right now. So they are probably not playing Oculus if they're Gorios. I don't think we want the Verdict. I think I do want the Purges. Purges maybe it's better than Ending for the most part. Maybe 3 Ending, 2 Purge. Someone interested in some disputes. I think I want to be down on the Force of Negations, 1 or 0, probably 1. Want it to be a little less. I mean, it's also kind of bad against Gorios. Maybe I want a second 1, second dispute. We can try that. Dredge is supposed to be a downside. Do you think improved Dredge that exiles cards from top instead of milling would be good? I think it's kind of a fun design space. Yeah. Although then you could go crazy with Cosmogoyf maybe. Any plans for Loki Relic in a crime deck? Well, my plan, like always, is to just see how the first draft goes, right? So I wanted to see how good this deck was going to go before I made plans to try it in other shells. But it's been going well so far. So I think yes, we can expand our Lokiing to other strategies. I'll keep a wand. We have a field too. So if they do have Gorios plus reanimation and I Prismatic Ending this turn, I get pretty got. I think I'll play around it. Blue-white Loki and a blue-white Scepter Chance Shell. Well, the thing is, Loki requires a lot of build around. And, you can't play everything. And so it seems difficult to include like Relic, some number of Relics, some number of Bauble, and these cards are insane with Loki and Scepter and Chant, right? And if you're drawing a lot of cards with Loki, you kind of need the Scepter Chant lock less. Was I supposed to main phase the one? Maybe I was. Like upkeep. I'm looking at the numbers and Loki's worse than Divination. Well, it is better actually. The like every Loki right now is like a 2.5 for 1. And Divination's only a 2 for 1. I know you're just joking, but thanks, Oakrand. Appreciate the sub. Definitely the best way to help support the stream if you're liking it. Isn't Loki right now a 1.5 for 1 on average? No. So Loki is if we cast 11 Lokis and we drew 11 cards, that's a 2 for 1, right? Because you have the Loki is still a card and it trades for a removal spell, and then you get a card off of it. That's a 2 for 1. And then once you draw an extra card, it starts becoming a 3-for-1. Also, like 3 or 4 of these Lokis, like the game has ended before we've been able to like draw like a lot more cards off of it, which is kind of hard to evaluate that part, I guess. Yeah, someone told me that Modern Challenge is a 96 today. I'm not gonna play it because I want to be testing the new cards and testing a lot of them, but it's interesting. We'll see how it goes. Scary a little bit. Like if they counter the Purge, we could like counter back, but then they could Goryo's the Atraxa. If you were to only count Lokis that weren't countered, it's like 2 cards per. Yeah, I mean, did we have? I guess we had like 1 Loki countered, right? No, we count. I don't think we had any Loki's countered. I think we always had Snare to like fight over it. Our first Loki drawing 6 cards definitely uh increase the average. So they can Goryo's me if they have Goryo's no matter what I do here. So I think I'm just gonna counterspell. Because if I go pop the relic, then they Goryo's in response. Nice, well played. Let's just go to game 3. Golden experience tier 1 for 3 months in advance. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Enjoy your ad-free viewing experience. All right, game 3 on the plate. Like our sideboard plan, let's stick with it. Loki plus Bone Zone is nice. No. Loki only triggers when you target a player or a permanent, and not from targeting graveyard, unfortunately. But it does work off of Bowmaster. Okay, we are on the play for game 3 with an acceptable 7. Thank you, Surveil Lands. Looking at the average card drawn across all games seems inherently flawed, considering there could be a game you would win without drawing any cards, but you drew 10. I would say that is. I don't know that makes sense. Like if Loki drew you 10 cards, but you would have won anyways, like it still drew you 10 cards, and it was still like your card advantage engine and your control shell. I would say like, I'd say more of a flaw is you have a Loki in play and your opponent concedes, and like, if their draw was better, you could have drawn one. It is definitely not perfect math or perfect anything. It's just literally the only thing we can do to kind of give people a first impression here. But I don't feel like Loki I would have won anyways with like any card advantage engine is a very good argument. They keep a card on top. I guess I will field. Probably an upkeep. They almost never play a mountain, so yeah, I'll say like the eyeball test matters a lot too, and it's like I know Loki has looked really good. Esther's whole career is data science. I could ask her. Right, we got a Loki. They didn't fight over the Tef, so I think it's pretty likely to resolve. So probably a good time to play it. Lucy and Athena are playing. They graveyard eluding. Pretty good. Yeah, Loki seemed very good. But it says oof, always a good sign. And that's a good pickup. I feel like my opponent doesn't have a Trex in the yard, so I think it's relatively safe to go for this. Oh, they don't have another basic either. Wow. Didn't draw a white card. All right, Loki's cast 12, cards drawn 20. 21. Probably about to be 22. Feels like a losing battle. Okay, so I'm gonna get my 22 before I purge. Bowmaster stock rising. Funny, Bowmaster's good with Loki and against Loki, so absolutely rising. Stat padding. Alright, they'll concede after this. It's fine. If I was really stat padding, I'd just let them hit me with the frog. We got a Reduke over here. A regular Reduke. $23. $24. We're up to 3 for 1, baby. 3 for 1. 3 for 1 average after 12 casts is actually insane on a 2-mana creature. Alright, it's gonna be 4-1 prediction going on Force. Keep this. They cycle a Wraith. Well, happy to be leading on turn 1 Relic against double Wraith cycle. So they're gonna look for Force of Negation. They find it. They pitch Charlotte's Agent, so we're on the play against Living End. My snare is gonna be pretty dead. Did they pass on purpose? Did they keep double Street Wraith Zero Lander? Okay. Listen. Of all people, I got no room to talk. Y'all know better than anybody. I have no room to talk here about their decision to keep this hand. Well, I have a few cyber cards for this matchup. Few cyber cards. Although I only have like really 7 for sure cuts. Maybe I don't need these disputes. I think the disputes are really good. Yeah, I do think Loki is... It is a 2-mana creature you have to tap out for against the Living End deck. Yeah, let's do this. Loki has been very good. You can see it's been on average a 3 for 1 after 12 casts. And it's also like the eye test has played very well. It's been cheap, draws a lot of cards, has to die. Good at multiples because it has to die. Oh, we still have Loki. Good. We have Loki plus Relic. They're on a mold of 6. They have lands this time. I think I am going to play the Relic turn 1. Maybe better to try to play around Force of Negation. So maybe they have Force of Negation and they have a Disenchant. Is there land that can trigger it easier? Manamo. In fact, I'm going to go... So they Force Pitch Wistfulness. Interesting they didn't want to just cast the Wistfulness. Guess they didn't have another green. They said another Wistfulness, sure. So punish for playing the Relic turn 1. Maybe that was bad. I'm just going to go ahead and cut the Otawara for Manamo in the Mox field. Just Manamo. Soaring City? No, I don't think that's it. School at Water's Edge. Yeah, I'm gonna be happy enough to dispute a subtlety or endurance this turn. It's fine. Have I ever won on stream with a high noon activation? I think it's one thing I haven't done. Do you have the Steam Vince? Don't want that. Do want that. I need that the Loki cast count up. Dude, high noon triggers Loki. Maybe I should have played the Steam Vince actually to hold up the high noon activation. Yeah, I've definitely died the high noon. I don't think I've ever cast one though. If this was Manamo this turn, this Loki would have also drawn like we would have already drawn 3 cards off of it. I've seen some builds that don't run red mana playing High Noon. Wouldn't be able to play Deafening Silence. High Noon is a lot better against Corey Steelcutter, which is a very important card to be good against. I don't know how my opponent has just nothing to cast here. It's interesting. I need to get a damage counter for Loki up here. 2 power for 2 mana? Loki plus Grange, yeah, that's actually pretty good. There's a lot of stuff that triggers it. Loki definitely a card way better in Modern than in Standard. If I cast the Teferi, it is like it's not gonna resolve. I would much rather than play a creature here. Because they play a creature, they can't play a second, I get to Solitude, and I get to draw a card. So they say it can't be countered on their endurance here. Then they're going to target no one. They can't Subtlety because of the High Noon. Took a while on this one, huh? But we got a card, baby. Yeah, but Manamo seems great. We added it to the Mox Field over the Otawara for anybody copying. Okay, so only 1 card up that Loki. 4-1, lost a tough match to Brood-Scale, but deck looked great. If we were planning on playing a challenge this week, this would almost definitely be a lock. Unfortunately, I'm going to Vegas for SCG Vegas this weekend. Okay, that was a 2-hour league on a day where I'm trying to play 5 unique decks. So we're on pace for a 10-hour stream today. I'm gonna pivot. Although I could play this all day. Let's see. You know what? I think I just did.